Urgent warning, do not ignore, to anyone who finds this message. My name doesn't matter, but my story might. I am, or rather, I was a lead engineer at a top-secret research facility deep beneath the ice of Antarctica. Our mission was simple, to explore and harness the power of an ancient technology buried miles below the frozen surface. What we discovered was something that should never have been awakened. The project, known as Obsidian, a codename we now know was more fitting than we ever realized, began with the discovery of a massive, perfectly preserved structure detected via satellite scans. This structure, buried under 4 miles of solid ice, was unlike anything on Earth, an impossibly smooth, obsidian black pyramid emitting faint electromagnetic pulses. In December 2021, my team was dispatched to the site with cutting-edge drilling equipment to breach the ice and gain access. The project was classified at the highest levels of global security. Only a handful of people even knew it existed. As we tunneled closer, the pulses grew stronger, and our instruments started behaving erratically. Computers failed, compasses spun wildly, and even our most advanced communications systems flickered and died. On January 10, 2022, we finally reached the pyramid's surface. The surrounding ice had an unnatural, almost glossy sheen, and the air grew thick with static electricity. Ignoring every instinct, we set up our equipment and prepared to enter. The entrance was sealed with a door made from a material that defied all analysis, neither metal nor stone. It absorbed all light, rendering it nearly invisible to the naked eye. When we finally breached it, we found an empty chamber lined with glyphs that emitted a dim, pulsating glow. At the center of the room stood a large, perfectly circular hole descending into darkness. It was around this point that things began to spiral out of control. Without warning, the glyph started to pulse faster, and an oppressive force filled the chamber, pressing down on us as if the air itself had turned to lead. We attempted to retreat, but the hole began to emit a low, thrumming noise, a sound that resonated deep within our bones. As we watched, paralyzed with terror, something began to rise from the depths. A shape of a void, darker than the darkest night, emerged from the hole. It was amorphous, shifting, and yet there was a terrifying sense of intelligence behind it. It filled the room with an overwhelming presence, a crushing sense of despair and doom. The surrounding air warped and twisted as the entity began to take a vaguely humanoid form. We couldn't move, couldn't speak. The only sound was the relentless hum, growing louder and more unbearable with each passing second. Then, in a voice that bypassed our ears and spoke directly into our minds, it said, "You have trespassed into the domain of the eternal void. You are the first to awaken us in eons, and for this, your world will suffer. We are the ones who came before, and we shall reclaim what was lost. You cannot stop what has begun." The entity dissipated into the air, leaving us with a chilling coldness that seeped into our very souls. We fled, abandoning all equipment and sealing the entrance behind us. But it was too late. The pyramid began to emit pulses of energy at an ever-increasing rate, and we realized, with dawning horror, that it was a beacon, a call to something far beyond our comprehension. As I write this, I am the last surviving member of my team. The others are gone, vanished without a trace, consumed by whatever we unleashed. The facility is on lockdown, but I fear it's only a matter of time before the energy pulses reach their peak and whatever lies on the other side answers the call. I don't know how much longer I have, but you need to understand, this isn't just a threat to us, but to all of humanity. Do not attempt to access the Obsidian Pyramid. Do not go near it. Know that the end we have set in motion cannot be undone. If you receive this, pray that it's not too late.